So the wine challenge has moved to my hometown, Hollywood. I'm here at K&L Wine Merchants. I'm going to see Greg St. Clair. He knows the drill. 90 plus wines at $30 or less, but maybe some other surprises. So let's go see if he can pull it off. Hey, Greg, how are you, man?
Good to see you. Nice to see you. Welcome to Hollywood.
Thank you. My hometown. You ready? You think
I'm
you can
ready.
pull it off, the wine challenge?
We got it.
Okay,
we're going
let's
to
go
beat you
taste.
with this one. Come on down.
I'm sure you have some surprises for me. You always have such a great selection here.
We're trying to spread it out a little bit and do some interesting things.
So, Greg, what's the first lineup then? Looks like some sparkling wine.
Champagne.
Champers, okay, great.
So this is a selection of our direct import things, smaller grower producers that you probably haven't seen a lot of these
Great.
before, but we think they're really great price performers as well as being fantastic wine.
So what are the price levels on these then?
$34.99, $39.99, and $44.99.
Okay. Well, let's see which. Hey, yeah, don't tell me which is which in price, and we'll see which one I like best
course
then.
not.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
I don't know. It's the first time I've used the 100-point glass, so I don't know if there's a special way to pour or.
No, I think it's pretty
Might only be
standardized.
96 if I pour it the wrong way.
I'm actually coming out with a champagne glass in September because the 100-point glass, sometimes with champagne, I like to see the bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, tasting is great champagne, but look, you don't get that much of a bead. That's what I like about champagne glasses.
Right.
So grower champagne, really popular everywhere now. I think it's fun, too. I mean, sure, there's the Grand Cru, Grand Marques, the whole thing, but it's exciting to have these small grower produced champagnes.
You get a lot more specificity, more terroir, some real character, rather than a regional blend.
Mm. Wow, that's rich. It has a nice sort of bread dough character. I really look for that in my champagne. And the bead's pretty fine, but lots of flavor. It's quite vinous,
Right.
very winey.
Right. Well, it's interesting because Gary Westby, the guy who's our champagne buyer, frequently tells me that when he dines with the Champenoise, they don't use champagne glasses. They use glasses like this, and they all decant their wine before because they don't want the bubbles. So it is a lot more vinous kind of flavors.
And I like that you get some strawberry character, a little bit of tropical fruit, but then you have that fresh acidity at the same time. It's not too acidic at all, but lots of good fruit. And I like the length to it.
No, it's got great balance and length, but it is very complex. And it's one of the things when you do the grower-producer champagnes, there are so many different options to do rather than the sort of dumbed-down Grand Marques.
I actually just took a sip of it. That's a good sign. I was thinking, wow, I don't know, it's too good.
I don't know, is that 89 over 90?
No,
Did you make it yet? I don't know.
I think you're easily over 90 with this. If I'm sipping, it's over 90. There's no
Okay.
use of sipping anything that's under 90. But for me, I really, really enjoy it. I think it's super good quality. And like I said, good intensity and complexity. And I love the weight to it. It's quite weighty. I'm 93 on this.
Wow.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah. It's got great weight. I feel the same, but it's so elegant at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not clumsy or heavy. It's just fresh and vibrant. I'm not going to drink it, though.
I had a tiny sip. Don't tell my mother. So, well, let's see what it is.
Okay.
I'm curious if I've seen it before. So I told you it's going to be hard. Champagne Amaury Coutelas, vintage 2005. Whoa, I've never had that.
No, spectacular wine.
Wow, and vintage.
It's vintage, and it's $39.99.
Wow.
And it is half Meunier and half Pinot Noir.
Interesting.
That's what I was saying. When you get the grower producers, there's a lot more intrigue and options in grape varieties rather than just the kind of standard.
And
Chardonnay.
interesting that there's no Chardonnay in that,
Right.
focusing more on Pinot Meunier, which a lot of times I like because I think it makes a slightly richer, heavier champagne that goes with food.
And I think you're right. It also brings out that kind of strawberry character as well.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah.
Well, this has more of a almost apple cider, apple pie than some bread dough. Interestingly, it's much more frothy. No? The beads closer
Beads
together.
broader.
Yeah.
Although it is unique. When you drink in the non-flute style glasses, you don't get that focus, and the wine sort of goes in different directions a lot of time.
What's interesting with this is it's not as rich as the first wine, and it's all about the finish. Mm-hmm. And at first I was thinking, whoa, it's a little bit too frothy, too bubbly. But then once you taste it a second time, I like the finish. It's very focused with lots of fresh sliced apples and citrus fruits, and then a pretty nice bead to it at the end, nice texture.
It really comes together in the center, really kind of lengthens out, and a lot of times that first splash in your mouth, you get that little burst of the mousse. Sometimes I find it has more to do with how I washed my glasses than anything else.
It really has almost tangerine finish.
More
to
citric.
It. Yeah. Very citrusy. Delicious. Great fruits. Fine texture, finish.
In fact, the tangerine peel is coming out now.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I'm definitely 90 on that. I like this a little bit better, the vintage 205 from Cutelas, because of the richness. But that's a more of a really nice aperitif.
Yeah, that's more of a mid-meal kind of wine. Are we ready? I think I got this one down.
Let's see. Baron Fuente.
So another
Vintage.
vintage you haven't known before,
And how much is it?
$34.99.
Wow. That's crazy getting what would a Grand Mark vintage be? Like a Bollinger or
Well,
Veuve Clicquot?
Bollinger's 90 plus, or 70 to 90, somewhere in that range. Veuve Clicquot is, I think, $69.99, somewhere
Wow.
there. So you're getting outstanding, really unique vintage character at half the price.
Wow, that's crazy.
And some really interesting flavor profiles
Yeah.
that when you're looking to kind of match with different dishes, well, you have a lot more selection.
I think it's interesting when you look at 2000, that's a 2004, and then the first one was 2005. I think it also underlines the fact that I think that it's generally accepted 5's a slightly better vintage, a little bit broader, richer, 4 racier, fresher.
But
Excellent.
different style
Yeah.
altogether and fresh.
Great. That's a vintage champagne at that price is really good news.
That, by the way, is 45 Chard, 40 Meunier, and 15 Pinot Noir.
Excellent. Baron Fuente. Okay. Well, so far, so good.
Number 3, or C, as we have it written here.
I like the nose on that. Well, this is quite subtle.
It's more classic.
Yeah.
These are really unique, different expressions. This is...
I love the nose on this. It really is this sweet sort of pie crust nose.
So it's almost, you don't want to drink it, just
Yeah.
want to keep smelling it.
It's so perfumed.
And it's deep, profound. It's not just that kind of light wafting kind of, it's really concentrated.
What I like about this, again, the texture is different than the first two champagnes, where it starts off and you get this beautiful sort of caressing texture all the ways down the center. It's almost seamless in a way.
Yeah, much brighter, fresher, focused, but at the same time still has weight and density along, but not like when the Meunier really gives it that fleshy kind of character to it. This is taut, muscular, but still rich.
I agree with you. Muscular is the right word. It has this the backbone of acidity, but also this beautiful texture from the bubbles. I really, really like this one. I'm really trying to decide if I like it better than the Cutelas or the...
And it's something that where the flavors, because it has that real tight acidic core, just keep growing and getting more intense and broader, where in both of the previous wines they were a little more open, a little more evident.
I'm going to try the first one just a little bit. I think that's more serious wine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm 94. I'm almost 95 on that. I think that's really delicious. Fantastic density to it. But then at the same time, it's very agile and exciting and lively.
Yes. In fact, I know I said that this was more of a mid-meal. I think that's probably incorrect. This is more of like just before I smoke the cigar, I'm going to have one of these just to richen it up. But this is more classic in the center.
I'm 94 on that. That's great. Whoa, great. That's a really, really good stuff.
This is
I've
Champagne
had this.
Margate, the 06.
Yeah, I have that in Hong Kong as well.
But fantastic vintage, great producers, and $49.99.
Wow.
But super serious champagne at that level.
Well, here's some really great tasting.
Thank
Great.
you.
That killed it. If you like champagne, I mean, I'm always looking for grower champagnes. Here's 3 of them to look for.
I'm going to drink this one.